Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. It's been a while. I'll do a state of the channel video soon, just talking about some of the changes I'm going to make as my life has changed, which for the better. But for now, we're just going to talk about Pulse Check on the final 2 rounds left in the NHL Playoffs. I usually do these 3 games in, but I wasn't able to, and now still a good time with both series tied at 2. And the start in the East between the Panthers and the Rangers. The talk about the Panthers outplaying the Rangers, I think, is lame. Yeah, it's there. I'm not saying you shouldn't mention it, but the Rangers are coming off of a series where they beat the Hurricanes, who in many ways outplayed the Rangers, but it didn't matter. And it hasn't mattered that much for a lot of these games either between the Panthers and Rangers, because no matter what you do, the Rangers are going to make the save, they're going to leave a bruise or 2 on you, and they're going to score a goal. Except in Game 1, where the Panthers won 3-0. But the 3 games following that all ended in OT. First, it was 2-1 for the Rangers in Game 2. Then going to Sunrise, Florida, the Rangers won 5-4 in OT. And then the Panthers tie the series 3-2. Game 5 is tonight in New York. Should be a lot of fun, as all the games have been. Though Rangers fans, maybe not a lot of fun in Game 1, but otherwise it's been a very, very good series. I don't really have too much in-depth stuff to say. Just my thoughts really are that who cares if the Panthers are outplaying the Rangers if they're not going to win, right? I've seen that with the Oilers a lot, where they'll play an opponent, but it doesn't matter sometimes. They'll get scored on or something, whatever. That happened a lot in the Oilers Canucks series. There was even a couple games against LA where LA outplays the Oilers, and it doesn't matter. Oilers win. In the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you outplay the opponent. It matters if you win. In the regular season, as long as you're outplaying your opponent, most of the time, yeah, you're going to have a really good regular season, but you don't have 82 games in the playoffs. You get up to 7 at a time. So at that point, it's just who's hot, who's ready to do it now. That's the matter of things. And the Rangers are a really good regular season team. They are very good analytically. They're not as good as Florida or Carolina, but they are very good analytically. It's why they won the President's Trophy, because they are an incredible team. They are not a bad team by any means. They're in the Final Four. I've seen people say the Rangers are not a great team. They won the President's Trophy, and they're in the Final Four. That's pretty great to me. Obviously, you solidify that by winning the Stanley Cup, but they're not there yet. They're like every other team left in the playoffs. They are only 6 wins out from that, and I'm just enjoying the series. I personally don't have a preference. My preference between these two is kind of more on the results of the Western Conference, really, just matchups that I want, but like if you ask me who I cheer for, usually I cheer for Florida teams over New York teams. But Florida has Matthew Tkachuk, who I respect. It's just I'm an Oilers fan. I haven't gotten over that, what he's done yet. Maybe I should, but whatever. But there's lots of players on the Panthers I really like. There's lots of players on the Rangers I really like. I'd be happy with either team moving on, which is kind of fun. And this is actually one of the most fun series I've watched because I don't have a horse in the race. I like both teams quite a bit. I'm always happy with any way the game ends, and every game's entertaining. So I'm enjoying it. I hope you are too. Let's talk about the West, which I am enjoying, but because it involves my favorite team, it is a little annoying too. I like the Stars. I don't carry the baggage because I was too young for the Stars to destroy the Oilers in the playoffs a ton. But whatever. So first game, this series has also been extremely tight, unless you ask the Oilers media, in which the Stars are up in the series 80-3 is what it sounds like from the Oilers media. Kevin Bieksa, after Game 4, called out the Oilers media fairly, because a lot of us Oilers fans and Oilers players can't stand the Oilers media. There's a reason that Klim Kostin became a fan favorite last year. There's actually quite a few reasons, but one of them was because he called out Mark Spector, because nobody likes Mark Spector, I'm afraid. Nobody does. That's another rant for another day, which I've already done before. But anyways, this is about the Oilers and the Stars, not about the fact that Mark Spector is a terrible human being. So game one takes 2 extra periods. Well, 1 extra period and a few seconds after that, the Oilers win 3-2 in Dallas. Very tight game. Coming into this game, Chris Tanev and FLA-NYR were the best defensive pairing in the playoffs. They still are. They just had an off game that game. So coming into that game, those two guys were on the ice together for only 2 goals against. And it's not like this pairing plays 5 minutes a game or is playing against fourth liners. No, this is their go-to defensive pairing when it comes to playing against the top offense. Outside of Heiskanen and Harley, of course. Heiskanen playing like 27 minutes a game. But anyways, so Tanev and Lindell are an elite defensive pairing, and then they're on for all 3 goals against in game one. I wouldn't say that they've just played bad. It's just at this point, when there's only 4 teams left, you can play good and still end up a minus because 4 teams left are pretty great. But they do bounce back. That not only that pairing, but the rest of the team. They win in game 2 at home, 3-1. The Oilers' offense was a little stagnant. They created a lot, but couldn't really finish a lot, which is a recurring trend for the Oilers. They don't have as many snipers as other teams. They are amazing at passing and creating the chances. In fact, they're probably the best. No, they are statistically the best team in the league at creating great chances. They just don't have a lot of finishers. And Ottinger was playing an amazing game. Speaking of goalies, it might surprise you to think that I felt that Skinner was the best player for the Oilers in game 1 and game 2. That wasn't the case in game 3, though. He had his best save in the playoffs in game 3, but a couple minutes later he had the worst goal against of the playoffs. But we'll get to that. So game 3, Oilers begin the first period dominating the Dallas Stars. At this point, like game 1 and game 2 were played very tightly because both teams are fully aware of what the other team can do. They both play fast. Dallas Stars aren't super physical, but they were physical enough. Oilers were a bit more physical, noticeably. I mean, you can look at the stats and yada yada yada, but just eye test really is what I'm going off of. But they're both playing fast, but not leaving much room when it comes to getting in front of the other team's net. So it leads to pretty low scoring, but eventually both these styles always lead to a high danger chance in which both goalies were doing really good most of the time. And game 3 was kind of different, where the Oilers take a commanding lead well into the first. It's just pure domination. It looks like the series could end right there. But the Oilers only managed 2 goals, but it's just a complete embarrassment of the Stars in period 1. Period 1 ends 2-0. As you can see by the score, it doesn't end 2-0, unfortunately for me and many of us Oilers fans. Period 2, Dallas does the same to the Oilers. They completely dominate the Oilers. They make them look stupid. They score 3 goals. It's bad. Nurse is not having a good game. We'll talk about Nurse, and we'll talk about Skinner as well. At the end of the second period, Henrique does score to make it a 3-3 game, and we are lucky that it was tied at the end of the second period. Dallas is lucky they weren't down 5-0 in the first. Oilers were lucky they weren't down 5-2 at the end of the second. Both periods were just complete opposite stories. So period 3 is played really tightly. And as I mentioned, Skinner makes probably the best save he's making in the playoffs. It's an amazing save. Makes you believe in Skinner. You know, he's had a really good game 1, a really good game 2. Game 3's been a little shaky, but hey, those goals weren't all his fault. Great save. And then, like, minutes later, he just doesn't hug the post right. Skinner bounces off his, like, the lower back of his pad or something and into the net. It's a really dumb goal. Good on Robertson, who is a hat-trick goal for him. So Dallas is up 4-3. And then they eventually score on an empty netter. I'm of the personal opinion that you shouldn't have an empty net even when you're taking a face-off in the offensive zone when there's more than a minute left, because All I have to do is win the faceoff and fire it down. You'll see some teams, what they do is they'll have the goalie uh, be out during those, but like standing 20 feet from the net or something. Well, not 20 feet, but 10 feet from the net, ready to get to the bench as soon as his team gets control to prevent that. That wasn't the case. Knobloch's a great coach, but it just feels like whenever we pull the goalie under Knobloch, the other team scores. It doesn't take long for them to score. It's weird. I don't know the stats on that. It's just a feeling I've had this playoffs, which is a very short amount of time. But anyways, so Dallas wins. It's a close game. It's a close game. It was a 1-goal game plus the empty netter. There was an empty netter in game 2 forgot to mention, where the Oilers didn't have possession of the puck when we pulled the goalie, leading to the Stars' goal. So I guess the empty netter in game 3 is better because at least it was a face-off. But anyways, so all games up to this point have been a 1-goal game plus a few empty netters. And if you ask the Oilers media, it's as if the Stars just won the series and it's time to go to the offseason. And there's some Oilers fans who are doing this too. I can't stand that crap. If you want to talk about what the Oilers should do in the offseason, sure, we're all thinking about it. But don't act like it's over. It's 2 games to 1. Yes, Dallas can win the next 2. Edmonton could win the next 3. Who cares? Let's focus on the now. The now is that Skinner did not kind of blew the game in the way. So I saw one stupid question thrown out a lot is, should Skinner start? Yeah, I don't think it was newsworthy. I don't think there needed to be articles written that Skinner's starting game 4. Sure, you'll have your notification or something, but an article about it? No, not necessary, because he had a good game 1, really good game 1, really good game 2. I mentioned I thought he was the best Oilers player in each of those games. Game 3 was not great, sure, but he wasn't terrible until that last goal. And he proved himself in Game 4, and we'll get to that. Speaking of proving yourself in Game 4, we'll talk about Darnell Nurse. He's really struggled. I've talked about my love and appreciation for Darnell Nurse. I have a whole video dedicated to him and his style. And one thing I've noticed in these playoffs is I'm trying to get into his mental status. Is how could this guy be so good and make so many smart plays, but then whenever something freakishly dumb happens, it's always him. It's always him. And I never talked to the guy, never met the guy, but my feeling is maybe he has this belief in himself that he can do everything. Because he can. He can score, he can pass, he can run the power play, he can kill penalties, he can hit, block, fight. He can do everything. He really can. But that doesn't mean you should, right? He has this opinion of, it looks like he has this opinion, because again, I never talked to the guy, that he can do everything. And that mentality has gotten him to this point. It's gotten him $9 million for better and worse. Usually worse, but again, I love the guy. So a lot of times we'll see pucks bounce off him into the net because he has this, and make mistakes because he has this mentality of, I can do it versus, do I need to do it? Which is a question you should be asking. Having this mindset that I can do it is amazing. It's why he's in the NHL. It's why a lot of these players are in the NHL. But he has this mindset of, I can do it instead of should I do it. And so sometimes he'll try to block a puck he's not really in great position for, and it bounces off and goes into the net. And game 4 it happened, but I can't even blame the guy. So we'll get to that. I want to talk about game 4 from Nurse's perspective before I talk about the Oilers. Kevin Bieksa talked about it too. He thought Nurse had a great game, and he did. It didn't start that way, but he did. So in game 4, he's on for the first goal against. Skinner probably could have done better. Absolutely. Well, I mean, every goal against a goalie could have done better. But it was a really nice shot from Wyatt Johnson, top corner. It's a hard shot to stop. Nurse is caught out of position. He didn't play it horribly, but you know, this is a playoffs, Final Four teams. You don't have to play it good to you don't have to play it bad to get scored on. You got to be really efficient and really mistake free, which is impossible. And then so he's a -1 after his first shift, and we talk about plus minus and how it's overrated, but like Nurse is a -12 coming into this game. He was a -9 during the 7 games against Vancouver. A lot of it, I think, was more just because of Cece. And you'll notice we won Game 6 and 7 when Cece was put on line 3. I should talk about the lineup changes. That's a huge part of the game, of Game 5. Actually, I'll come back to lineup changes. We're still focusing on Nurse, who's playing with Kulak, actually. He doesn't have a lot of time with Kulak. But I don't mind the pairing. I kind of like the pairing, actually. I think their styles should complement each other. I don't remember their handedness, but because I know that is an important part. But I thought it was fine. I think they work together, in handedness wise. So, anyways, Nurse is on for the first goal against on his first shift. Second shift, he's on for another goal against. And you can't even insult Nurse for this one. It's just incredible bad luck that can only happen to him. So he plays it right. So one of my criticism of him is what I mentioned earlier. Sometimes he'll try to block a shot he shouldn't. And this time he wasn't. He was going to get out of the way for Skinner, let Skinner make the save, and he pushes the Stars player out of the way. So he makes sure the Stars player is out of the way, and he's out of the way. It's great. Skinner can see the shot perfectly. It's awesome. Great play, Nurse. But the shot's not heading towards the net. There was some bad accuracy on the shot. So it goes off. So instead of going towards the net, it goes off of Nurse's butt and into the net. Like, excuse me. I've been coughing because I've been working on a farm and eating a lot of dust. I'm coughing a lot less than I was. But anyways, it's just like, he played it right. Of course it happened to him. It sucks. Yeah, it sucks. And, a lot of us are obviously going to be worried about Nurse's mentality right here. He's a -2 already. And that second one, he played fine. Like, it's very easy for him to go and have a bad game. He already is having a bad game at this point, a horrible game. Like, I've stopped defending him at this point. It's just bad. And how do you come back from that? He does, though. But I will say, I don't have the stats on this. I don't have a perfect memory of the hockey. But I'm pretty sure he's the only player in NHL history to, in one game, block a shot with his butt in Game 3. And in the next game, have an own goal because of his butt. I don't know the stats on that, but I'm pretty sure he's the only guy who can do that. Anyways, so Nurse is having a bad game already. It's just, and it's not even halfway into the first period, and he's a -2. Crap. Well, he picks it up. He helps the Oilers score the first goal, and a great activation by him. He gets an assist on that. He would be on for another Oilers game, a goal, so his plus-minus is a 0. You want it to be better than that, but we'll take it. Again, I think he had a really good game after those first 5 minutes, or not 7 minutes, I think. I wouldn't call it a great game because of how badly his first 2 shifts went, but overall, I thought he had a good game. He ended with an assist, 3 blocks, and 12 hits. A lot of very noticeable in the third period. I thought he had a really good game. I'm really proud of Nurse. I hope he knows how proud of him I am, and a lot of us Oilers fans are. I hope Oilers fans show appreciation to him. He's a great player. He really is. It's not $9 million, I know, but he is a great player. And I've talked about that in a video before. I'll link it. I've probably linked it already at some point in this video. I'm really happy for him. So let's talk about the Oilers as a whole during that game. And the Stars get Roope Hintz back in Game 3. The Oilers got Adam Henrique back in Game 3 as well. Roope Hintz helped unlock Jason Robertson, who went on to have a hat-trick. Henrique did have a goal in that game. Ryan McLeod was taken out of the lineup during that game to try to get him. He's been doing good. He's been great on the penalty kill, but he hasn't scored a goal yet. So Game 4, 3 guys go in, 3 guys come out for the Oilers. McLeod comes back into the lineup after 1 game absence. Corey Perry comes back in the lineup after a 5-game absence. And Philip Broberg, highly touted prospect, probably the best prospect the Oilers have. No, not probably, he is. Gets his first game for the playoffs this year. He hasn't played since the fall for the Oilers. And coming out of the lineup is Fogle, which I'm disappointed in, but I understand he hasn't been doing much. He's been okay, but you need sparks at this point. Okay is not enough. So he comes out of the lineup. Carrick, I've liked Carrick a lot, but somebody has to come out of the lineup when you're bringing in Corey Perry and McLeod, so he gets pulled. I would have said Matthias Janmark, but thankfully that wasn't the case. He does score a goal in Game 4. And then Desharnais is pulled out of the lineup. I really did not like Desharnais getting pulled out of the lineup. I wanted Ceci out instead, but whatever. Coach usually knows best, and it did work out. And I hope Desharnais comes back in. I think he's been doing amazing these playoffs, but I guess you kind of look at the Nurse Desharnais line, and you're like, one of these guys has to get benched. And it's easier to bench Desharnais than Nurse, because Desharnais will be fine if you bench him. If you bench Nurse, you might lose him for the rest of the playoffs. You don't want that. If Oilers are going to go on the cup run, Nurse is going to be part of it, a huge part of it. So benching him and ignoring him isn't going to help, unless Broberg comes in and becomes what we all hope he can be. But he didn't. He was fine that game. You didn't really notice him, but that's okay. So the lineup additions all work out. McLeod scores a goal. Perry is noticeable. Like I said, Janmark scored a goal, so that worked out, having Janmark in instead of Carrick. And didn't really notice Broberg, but that's fine. When you're a defenseman and you're not noticeable, that's good news. I try noticing defensemen as much as I can. Didn't notice Broberg one bit, but that's okay. So the Oilers ended up playing a really good game. Skinner had a really good game. Ottinger had a really good game. Dallas power play was dreadful. That was a huge part of the game, is special teams. People talk about the Oilers power play, but I'm glad that's being talked about now. The Oilers power play isn't their biggest strength anymore. It hasn't been for a while. Oilers power play had did a lot of right during that game, but didn't score. But their penalty kill did perfectly and did score. Dallas had 2 power play opportunities. They were 0 for 2, had 2 shots on goal, and a goal against. Connor Brown is on a 3-game point streak. He assisted on Janmark's shorthanded goal. Nurse did get an assist, but Draisaitl ends his 2-game point drought, which isn't notable if Draisaitl hadn't had a point in every game up to Game 2. Game 2 was the first game he didn't have a point in the playoffs. Game 3 didn't have a point. He scores a goal in Game 4. David had 3 assists. Great game by the Oilers. Game 5 is tomorrow night. Oilers and Dallas. My thoughts on the series. It's a great series. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it because I don't hate the Stars. So it's like, if the Stars win, yeah, it sucks, but I'll get over it. It's fine. In fact, I'd probably cheer for the Stars. So let's finish talking about the Oilers and the Stars before I talk about my preferences. My initial prediction, if you watched my preview, was Oilers in 7. My preseason pick was the Oilers in the Cup, so I figured I better just stick with them. And honestly, going over some of the numbers, I was kind of like, I'm kind of actually siding with the Oilers. Like, if I had to pick, ignore my previous pick and pick between the Oilers and Stars, I would have probably said Oilers in 7. But the fact I'm saying 7 should tell you that it's going to go either way. They're both great teams. And my personal opinion is whoever wins here, I hope goes on to win the Cup for multiple reasons. One, I love a lot of Stars players. I'd love to see Joe Pavelski win the Cup. I really like Robertson, Heiskanen, Lindell, Tanev. Tanev is injured, by the way, again. Not really his fault. It's because he gets 8 million blocks a game, so at one point you're going to be injured. He has a broken foot. That doesn't mean he's not going to play because he's Chris Tanev. He's been told he's not going to play before many times, and he plays anyways. I'd love to see Ottinger win a Cup. Sagan, Ben, sure. I'd love to see the Stars win a Cup. Obviously, my preference is the Oilers. And when it comes out of the East, I mentioned I don't really care. I prefer based on who comes out of the West. If Oilers come out of the West, I think Rangers, because I would say we'd match up better against them. But at some point, it's like, if the Rangers get outplayed by the Hurricanes and win, and the Panthers get outplayed by the Rangers get outplayed by the Panthers and win, who's to say when they get outplayed by the Oilers that the Rangers aren't going to win anyways? But I do think our matchup with them would be better, though we haven't been good against Russian goalies. So it'd be really annoying to be goalied by Igor Shesterkin for an entire series. Flashbacks with Connor Hellebuyck. Sorry, I got. Excuse me. But we could call it the Mark Messier Finals. So I think that'd be fun. And then if the Stars come out, I'd prefer the Panthers in the finals. Because for the last 2 years, the Oilers, whoever beats the Oilers in the playoffs, goes on to beat a Florida team in the playoffs to win the Cup. 2 years ago, Colorado eliminates the Oilers in round 3, beats the Tampa Bay Lightning for the Stanley Cup. Year after that, Vegas beats the Oilers in round 2, goes on to win the Cup after beating the Panthers in the finals. So I would get a real kick out of it if the Stars beat the Panthers in the finals, because that'd be the third straight year that a team beats the Oilers to beat a Florida team in the finals. It's just, when do you see that? When do you get to say that? Excuse me. But honestly, like I said, I'm happy with any team winning the Cup at this point. I'd love if the Oilers win it, obviously, but I'd be really happy with the Stars. I've talked about the guys there that I love. For the Panthers, I love Bobrovsky. He's kind of becoming a bit of a diver, I think, during this playoffs, which is unfortunate. But otherwise, I love Bobrovsky. I love Barkov. I'm a big fan of Gustav Forsling. I like Ekblad. Kachuk's there, but whatever. I like Sam Reinhart. Lots of guys there to love and like. I love their game, too. I love Paul Maurice. I'd love to see Paul Maurice win a Cup. He's been a great coach for a very long time with no Cup to his name. Or his name not on the Cup. And for the Rangers, I love a lot of their players. I love Vinny Trocheck. I love Shesterkin, Keandre Miller. I love Adam Fox, Panarin. And I'm actually, believe it or not, a massive Jacob Trouba fan. If I got a Rangers jersey, Jacob Trouba would be the guy on the back. There's a lot of similarities between him and the way I play basketball. I'm actually a huge Jacob Trouba fan. But the biggest person who stepped up his game during these playoffs, Kevin Bieksa. Love Kevin Bieksa. I'm not a fan of Sportsnet. I'm not a fan of Sportsnet panel, but Bieksa has done amazing. He's been good all year, but he's really stepped up. All of his breakdowns have been great. He's been entertaining. He calls out the Oilers media, so big plus from me and a lot of us Oilers fans and non-Oilers fans. And Oilers players probably specifically. I loved his breakdown of Trouba elbowing Rodriguez, because even as a Trouba fan, I'm like, oh, that's 5. And then he argues with the entire panel saying how, no, that should have been 2. I don't know if BX is right, but I thought the way he broke it down was pretty fair. I can talk about that if you want in the comment section. But I've talked a lot during this video. It's a catch-up video. But yeah, I've really enjoyed these final conference finals. They're all great games. I'm super happy about them, and I'm super happy that you're here. I'm super happy you made it. Sorry, I was fidgeting with my flosser. If you see what's there, I'm super happy you got to watch this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my insight or white noise, and I'd love to see your thoughts down in the comment section below for what you think will happen, what you want to happen, your favorite parts or whatnot. And I hope to see you soon in my other videos. I'll do a state of the channel video after this, just talking about going forward with the channel. Thanks so much again. Please like the video if you think I earned it, and subscribe and turn on notifications for more. That's a huge boost for me. I love and appreciate it all. I would say I respond to most comments, but part of me thinks that YouTube isn't showing me all the comments, because sometimes it'll say there's a comment on the video, but it won't show me. So hopefully if you comment, I will see it, and hopefully it's a comment worth responding to, because there are some comments I get where it's like, it's not worth responding to. Anyways, that's it. Thank you so much again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.